Say ladies, that's right. So I'm gonna show y'all how to get some money from a man that you just met an hour ago. What you're gonna do is go outside, right? You're gonna turn all the breakers off, right? And then you're gonna do a walkthrough in your house and you're gonna record my lights is off. The people just cut my lights off. I'm short $200. You're gonna show all the lights off. You're gonna flick all the lights off in the house. You're gonna flick all switches in your house and be like, look, my lights off. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna ask him for $200. You're gonna say I'm $200 short on my light bill. If he say he can't do it, you're going to block him immediately because he don't care about your well-being. He don't care about you and your kids being in the house with no lights. Okay, I don't care if you just met him, you're going to block him. That's how you get money from a man.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think this might be the brokest group of women in U.S. history. Now, I know we've had some rough times. The Great Depression had to be rough on a lot of people, but I still believe this group of internet panhandling, begging group of women we dealing with now is something different. I've never seen anything like this. And I don't care about those statistics about women going to college at a higher rate than men. That doesn't matter to me. What good are those degrees if you're still online panhandling? Now, with that being said, I do appreciate this young lady. I appreciate when they come online and share stuff like this because there are some sucker for love dudes out there who need to hear this right from the horse's mouth, because us men have been telling these other men that these women have been scamming for years, but those dudes don't want to hear it from us, so it's good for them dudes to hear it from the girl. But this video has no effect on a guy like me or guys like me. No effect whatsoever, because in this scenario she said this is how you get money from a guy you've known an hour. I wouldn't care if I knew that girl for a year. This still wouldn't work on me. This is the problem with what she's talking about. If you meet a man who has any self-respect and he's only known you for an hour and you call him with this foolishness, he's going to hang up the phone. That phone call would last about as long as a Mike Tyson 1990s championship boxing match. As soon as you start talking this stupid stuff, he's going to hang the phone up. Again, I do know there's some sucker for love simps out there who would deal with this, but for the majority of men out there, they'll just hang the phone up and keep it moving. It doesn't matter if you're lying or telling the truth. You're getting the dial tone either way. The one thing you said in this video I agree with is when you said that man doesn't care about you and your kids. Well, that's for damn sure. We definitely don't care about them.
F them kids.
Any man who falls for this, you're slow. That's what you are. You are slow. That's what I see when I think about a guy falling for this. And just to be clear, I don't think you're going to have to worry about blocking a bunch of guys, because if you're out there saying this, you're going to have a bunch of men blocking you.
Rejected.
Some of these women just wake up angry.
You angry at breakfast?
I know a lot of y'all might not see it this way, but if a man proposes to you while you are doing something for yourself, accomplishing something for yourself, he's your biggest hater. If you're graduating from school, he proposes, he's a hater. He's a hater. If you are having an opening for your business and he proposes, he is a f***ing hater. When he gets on stage while you're literally performing in front of thousands and millions of people, it's a hater. He's a f***ing hater. I know y'all might not see it that way. I know y'all might not see it that way because y'all feel like, oh no, it was a big The time of the essence was on you. You were doing something of your passion, your purpose, your energy, your success, your hard work. And he literally takes that time to say, I'm going to propose to you instead of recreating a whole nother time. He is a f***ing hater. I don't care what y'all say. Holiday, all that shit don't be making sense. We have 365 days out the year. Sometimes 366. And he choose the day that is all about you. No.
I've came to the realization that this whole single epidemic thing we got going on here, that's not going to change. Because some of these people, they will dig until they find something to complain about. She's over here talking like this man is sipping on haterade.
I be sipping on haterade, yeah.
Is there a man out there who did it just to steal his girlfriend's shine? Of course, because in every situation, there's always somebody who's doing that. But that is the exception, not the rule. This young lady is so adamant about the fact that that man wants to take that girl's shine, she's not looking at any other possibility. And let me give you some of those other possibilities. Maybe that man saw that situation as this is the one time he can get all of her friends and family around at the same time. Everybody's already here and it just works well. It's no sense for me to try to organize the whole family to come back together again, flying in from out of town, arranging all this stuff. So why not just do it now? And do you know why I know this might be his thought process? Because there are situations where a man is getting a trophy or he's being celebrated or he's winning an award and he will still turn around and propose to his wife, because it isn't about taking her shine. It is about the timing. It is about the moment. Because if a man is being celebrated get congratulated or awarded or whatever he got going on, and he turns around and proposes to his wife, he is doing the exact opposite of what you're talking about. He is sharing the shine with his wife, because you do know the proposal is more for the woman and not the man. She's the one that's going to start getting congratulated. She's the one that's going to be showing off the ring and everybody's going to be excited about it. So if he was such a hater, why would he do that on his special day? This is why I'm saying you don't make sense. And don't sit there and act like you don't see men doing that all the time, because they do. Because in most situations, it isn't about him hating on his wife. The situation just felt right. It seemed right. So he went for it. That's it. Is he correct in thinking that? Who knows? But that's not the point. Maybe that was his thought process and not the fact that he wanted to take your shine. Also, you ever heard of compound interest? That's when you have something good and then you just keep adding on top of that. So maybe in that situation, that man is looking at his girlfriend, this woman that he loves, doing something great. He just wanted to expand on whatever she had going on. So if she's at her graduation party and he gets on one knee and proposes to her, so now she's graduating and getting proposed to in the same day, how is that a bad thing? That should just make her twice as happy. It's just like you hit a lottery scratch-off ticket for $10,000 and when you were leaving the store, you find a $100 bill on the ground. Are you gonna be mad about that? Are you gonna throw it back on the ground and keep walking? Is that what you're gonna do? Again, is he correct in thinking what he's thinking? Who knows? But that's not the point. The point is he wasn't thinking about taking her shine. Another thing that could have happened, maybe, just maybe, she's the type of woman who wanted something like that. There are women out there who love those big proposals. They don't want some little quiet proposal at a restaurant. They want something in front of the whole world. So maybe that guy understands that that's what his girlfriend wanted, so that's what he gave her. I'm not saying every girl wants that, but there are women out there who love stuff like that. So maybe that's what the man was thinking. Why does it have to come down to this man just being a hater? I don't get that. Like he's sitting there watching her about to graduate, eating a banana like,
I don't like that for sure, bro. I don't like that.
no, every man don't think like that, lady. Maybe that's how you think, but that doesn't mean that's how every man thinks. Some of you angry chicks just need to turn your microphones off and go to sleep. That's what y'all need to do. Just go to sleep. You are angry, man. And all you're doing is charging these other women up, putting a battery in their back to make them angry too. Because this video got a lot of views. There's a bunch of women in the comments agreeing with this, because that's what happens when you get these angry women online saying whatever they want to say. And then when I make a video trying to debunk this foolishness, somebody always got something to say to me about that. Why don't you talk to her? Talk to her, because she's the one who made this garbage and people believe it. So all I'm doing is trying to let y'all know that is not the case. Yes, that man could probably pick another day, but in some situations, in some relationships, it might just work better for them. Doesn't necessarily mean he's a hater, he's a bad guy. Some of y'all just want all men to be the bad guys, so I understand that. And I want to say, I don't think this young lady here has to worry about a man proposing to her in any of those situations, because there's not a big market out there for angry, bitter chicks. But who knows, maybe somebody will come along and wife her. All I can
Men are not capable of love. They are only capable of empathy. Only women are capable of love because men are not capable of bearing life.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I have a theory about this. I believe a lot of these women, they wake up in the morning, they have absolutely nothing to talk about because nothing exciting is going on in their life. They don't have any story times, they're not dating anybody, but they need to post a TikTok video. So they grab their phone, turn on their camera, and they just say any damn thing. It doesn't matter. They say whatever they want. They turn off their camera, put the phone down, and they go to work and just going about their day. That's what I think is happening, because this makes no sense whatsoever.
Just sit there and shut up.
I'm gonna be honest. Half the women who be claiming they be getting tricked into f***ing with terrible men, I don't believe y'all be getting tricked. I'm gonna keep it a beam with y'all. I don't believe y'all be getting tricked because you can't convince me that some of the stupid ass niggas y'all be f***ing with was somehow masterminds behind tricking your ass.
This girl is not lying. Anytime I hear a woman online complain about how some dude manipulated her or tricked her, I'm sitting there like,
well, we don't believe you. You need more people.
Because it isn't true. These women know exactly what they're doing when they deal with these dudes. They just don't think it's going to end the way that it does. But the main problem is a lot of these women just don't think at all. They're out there just doing dumb, having fun, thinking that nothing's going to happen. They think they are men. They think they can go out there and just have sex with anybody and there's not going to be any repercussions, but there are repercussions for you because you are the one that's going to be stuck with that child. Women in most situations will ignore a red flag when their feelings get involved. It happens all the time. This is why you see that girl who will have 2-3 kids by the same man, but once she lose feelings for him, that's when she start dogging him out and calling him a bum. You couldn't see that he was a bum before you had those 2 or 3 kids? And these bum men are not complaining. They know you are like that, and that's why they play with you, because they know they can. Because a lot of you are easy to manipulate because you want to be manipulated. You're not gonna sit there and tell me that this dude didn't have a job, nowhere to stay, no car, but you didn't know that until you had 2 kids by him. Come on, man. I don't know who you think you're talking to, but I ain't falling for that. And then they get mad at men like myself and other men who come online and say y'all need to choose better, because that is what it boils down down to. You need to choose better. And until you acknowledge that, you're gonna keep making these stupid decisions. You're gonna keep getting manipulated. You're gonna keep dealing with bums, and it's just what it is. And on top of everything else I just said, there are women out there who like bums. They just like them because they can control those dudes. They know those dudes need them. Those dudes need a place to stay. They need their car. That man's not gonna leave them because he can't. They can tell that man what to do. They can control his life. So some women actually like these dudes. They don't admit it, but they like these dudes. And I ain't just making that up. That is a fact. But anyway, leave your thoughts in the video. Appreciate you watching. See you next time.